on some various things. Let me go to my own page and find the podcast.
No, I'm the podcast.
No, I'm the podcast.
I'm Spartacus.
Sorry, had to reroute the dog. He was trying to make a bed out of a bag that needs thrown away. It was really crackly.
Definitely was. Homie was definitely all about that.
Yeah, I had to reroute him to his pillow.
Well, good to know that you were able to do that.
I checked us on Twitch. So
Are we on Twitch?
Yep.
Good. All right.
Great.
Why is it not showing up on my feed? Weird. Okay, I know it takes a couple of minutes for me to see it, so we'll just have to fart around with that. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Engaged Family Gaming Podcast. My name is Steven Dutzman, and I'm your host, and I am joined once again by three of my very best friends in the whole wide world. We have no Amanda this week. She is in New York at a Dungeons and Dragons event. Do I know what that means? No, she didn't tell me. Am I going to ask her when she gets back? Absolutely. Will we tell you what it is? I can't make any promises, but we will if we can. With that said, she's gone, but she's wishing us well. We have three other people who are three of my best friends in the whole wide world. We're going to start on the bottom left for me with John Tomlinson, the man behind the curtain. Sir, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm
What are we building today?
building a little chicken jockey.
Chicken jockey.
And also my wife built this one last week. This is
that is a really cool looking set.
The cube. And
Yeah, the Minecraft cube. The
different,
crafting table.
Yeah, different little sayings from the menus where it's like you are the player and stuff like that.
I feel like when I yell chicken jockey, I'm supposed to stand up and throw crap. Yep. But I feel like my wife would get really upset if I did that. So speaking of throwing crap, it makes me think of snowballs, which makes me think of the frozen north, which makes me think of Jeff Walker. Sir, how are you? Do you have any snowballs to throw around up there or no?
No, I mean, it is chillier than what it has been, but sorry.
Okay.
And our thermostat went out yesterday, but it's back and working today.
Oof.
Man. Well, okay.
So we have a whole new system. We got an air conditioner last year, a furnace a couple months ago, and now a new thermostat.
I mean, it's like a regular ship of Theseus over there.
Yeah.
Like, at what point is it no longer your house?
I don't know.
It's a new house.
That was a deep cut, by the way. That was a deep cut, and everybody should appreciate how good my joke was. All right, so I have fixed it on my Facebook. And so now people should be able to watch it there. And last but not least, the Mistress of Magnificence, otherwise known as Mom, Linda Roble. How are you?
I'm doing great. Very tired. Got to schlep all over a college campus with my oldest and do a tour. So that was exciting.
Which one?
University of Hartford.
Oh, okay. So at least you didn't have to drive far.
No, we're only looking right now at stuff that's drivable.
All right. Well, so that's good. At least you didn't have to drive far. We like that. Although I don't like that the Utes in my life continue to age up. I don't. Yeah. It makes me upset. Oh, we got.
Am I considered a youth in your life? You all say how young I am.
Wow.
Yeah, you are one of the Utes in my life, and you do keep getting older. Oh, we got Kahi. She said, "Nice segue." She was congratulating me on my throwing things to the snowball. I like it.
I was in my 20s when you and I first connected. So
it's true. It's absolutely true. And my Pathfinder DM up in here saying to go to Connecticut College. He has opinions on that. It's a Connecticut resident. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about here. So I think the first thing we should probably do is share our good news, because that is, man, do we all need it. So John, what do you got for us? Do you got anything good? You got to have something.
Last Saturday, I was able to do my first vendor fair where I sold some of my 3D printing product. Had a lot of fun. Broke even on the table, but it was at the church where I got married. So
That's cool.
nice spot.
Man, breaking even because those vendor fairs are hit or miss.
Yeah. It was definitely not advertised enough.
Yeah.
But like now it's making all those connections with those people. Now it's just like
That's it.
Next time we decide to do it there because it's a cheap place to do it, we go from there. So
Yep. Absolutely. Love to see it. Jeff, what about you? I mean, I know you had your I know that you successfully ran your murder mystery. I saw the pictures.
I did, yes. That was a lot of fun. I think I talked to.
Did you?
Before?
Well, I saw the pictures afterwards.
Time is a flat circle.
Yeah.
No,
More like a rug, really.
My good news is I am a week and a half on a diet and I've lost 8 pounds.
Good job, buddy.
Wow.
There we go.
That's what we like to see. What about you, Linda? You're done with You're done with parent-teacher conferences.
I'm done with parent-teacher conferences. I'm on April break. That's good news. And this is what's going to keep me busy besides college tours. Ravensburger sent me 4 different Minecraft games to play, to explore, to have fun with. Since the Minecraft movie just came out last week. So some fun stuff to make some content with and play with the family.
That's awesome. Speaking of Ravensburger, I can say they sent me a little Lorcana goodie bag.
ooh.
So I got the Arcasia's Island Illumineers trove. And I was thinking that I would open one of the packs right now.
Yeah, that's a white box. The
white box. Yeah, it's this set is it's like white is not the right word. It's like ivory is probably the best that I could give it. But if anyone was ever wondering what's in these Illumineer troves, they're actually really they're really nice because this is just a cheapy little box that you get, at the store. But it comes with an actual box with like a top and a lid and to kind of hold some of your collection in it. So it's actually really nice. And I thought I would open up a pack right now.
Which collection is that?
This is the Arcasia Island Lumineers trove.
Yeah, I have the Steam over here.
Okay, so I need Jeff, I need you to I'm going to give you 3 Disney characters. You guys tell me which one. We got Bolt, Maribel from Encanto, the Mad Hatter. That's it.
I'm going to go with the Mad Hatter.
I had a feeling you were going to do that. So for what it's worth, it comes with this cool box, 8 booster packs. I don't know what this is. We're going to open it up right now and take a look at it. I've been saving this for days, guys. We got some cool art. These are dividers to kind of divide your collection up. We got the one of the is it Ivanka? One of the rescuers, the Russian one. Is it Ivanka or Ivana?
That sounds right.
It sounds right or close.
It's right or close. I know she's got a Russian accent. But all right, so let's go. And it's got, cool dividers. Basically, this is designed to help store some of your collection until you get into the crazy stuff. So if you're only intending to buy a few cards just to tide your kids over, get one of these Illuminator troves, and then you can buy other packs, and then you can store the stuff in here. It's perfect. Great. Miss Bianca, thank you. Bianca, I had another Anka in my brain, and I regret every little bit of it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kai. All right, so we're gonna open it. Voice by that's right. That's why. All right. So at least I had some of the stuff. I feel like somebody used the Googles, but that's okay because I appreciate it. So we got the pack. I'm just gonna say what the big card is. So I'm flipping to the end. Oh, we got Sven. The big thing with this set. How dare I?
We just know. We know you're cheating.
Probably not. I'm gonna get yelled at.
No, it's not cheating. It's using her resources. Come on now.
Or she just knew rescue. She does like rescue. Rescuers is not your favorite.
I believe you.
I like the Rescuers. I have a Beyond 15 for Christmas.
Okay, Rescuers is not her favorite because her favorite is Moana.
Yeah, come on now.
And
can be
or
both
Lilo and Stitch.
favorites.
She can fight me if she can.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Let me know when you're gonna fight him. We'll make a YouTube of it. We can go viral on that.
Yeah.
Come on now.
So,
I need to get her the big Lilo, the big Stitch.
no, she doesn't want
No?
the Stitch thing. She likes Lilo, not Stitch. So the big thing is they have 2 colored cards in this set. We're gonna have a whole bunch of content hitting the website in the next couple of weeks, largely because of that. The oh shoot, I got a Hercules card, everybody. Return of Hercules. Look at that. Hercules. Hey, look, and I also got a foil card that has the 3 Sleeping Beauty fairies on it. I know somebody that likes those fairies.
Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather. That's their names.
Yep. I know somebody who really likes Merryweather. I know somebody who has a demon hunter in World of Warcraft named Merryweather, and it's not me. So that's it. Let's talk about what games we're playing. I did some pack opening. That was exciting. I got a Hercules card. That was worth it. But we're obviously going to have more Lorcana coverage up on the Engage Family Gaming site within the next few weeks. So keep your eyes peeled on that, especially if you're interested in that card game. But let's talk about what we've been playing. Jeff, I'm going to start with you. We got a zombie. Jeff, what have you been playing?
All right. So I have been playing a new game that just came out last week called Blueprints, as in Prince. But it also is a play on the word blueprint. So the premise of the game is you are a 14-year-old who just inherited a house from your great uncle, but in order to keep the house, you must find the secret 46th room. And what is cool about this is you start, it is a roguelite. So you start in the main hall and there are 3 doors. You pick a door to open and it drafts 3 cards to you. And you pick which room it'll show you like which way the doorways go. All the different rooms you can get have different things. So you're looking for keys, you're looking for gems, you're looking for coins. You are, I'm
sharing the trailer with everybody so that they can kind of have an idea. But keep going, Jeff.
Some rooms have negative effects. Like there's a chapel in this house. And if you go to the chapel, every time you walk through the chapel, you lose a coin because you have to donate it. Some rooms are dead ends. Some rooms give you some extra movement. Eventually, you start expanding where you open up parts of the outside. And so now I'm at a part where I can go to this outside room every time and looking for a specific room. I was surprised this game hooked me because I am not a fan of roguelites. I am not one to want to keep playing. I hate doing the same thing over and over. But I think the reason it has stuck with me is this is more of a board game kind of than a video game. I've talked here many times. I've talked here on the EFG show that Steve and I used to do. I love the game Betrayal at House on the Hill, where you're building the house every time you play. This is what you're doing every round. You're rebuilding the house. The higher you go in the house, the more likely you are to get rarer rooms and rooms that do more abilities. And yeah, it's a real fun time. I am enjoying it. Probably the most I've ever done with sticking with a roguelike game that I actually want to finish.
So just for sake of explaining it to the audience if they don't know, a roguelike game is a game where every time you start over. It's intended to be played over and over and over again. And in between your gameplay sessions, you keep some of what you find, or you permanently change the game in some way. So in some places you earn currency that you can keep to get power ups. So maybe you have more hit points moving forward and things like that.
So, for example, in this game, I'll give you one of the earlier things, kind of a pro tip for this game. You want to find the garage. But the issue is, to find the garage, you also have to find the breaker box so you can turn the garage power on. Because if you can go and open the garage door, you can open the west gate, which will lead you to outside rooms every time. That you will want to use to get farther on.
Cool. Yeah, this is whose dog is that? Is that your dog, Jeff?
That is my stepdog.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, listen.
That is out and is not happy because
I'm
gonna go solve that problem though.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute you until you come back. So that's Blueprints. I'll stop sharing my screen right now.
It's definitely a game that I've been hearing a lot about, and I'm very interested. It's an Annapurna game, right?
Raw Fury is the publisher, but it's a game that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's attracting attention from a lot of folks that don't normally it's attracting a lot of attention from folks, kind of came into your contender really for a lot of folks. And it's actually pulled some attention from like my wife, who doesn't get excited about video. She does, but it's very rare that she'll say like, hey, this is a game I must play.
Is it a lot like the escape room type games, like The Room and stuff like that?
That's a question for you, Jeff. I don't know.
What? So
is it like an escape room kind of thing?
There are puzzles. So it isn't a lot like, I don't know if any of you have played Escape Room Academy.
No,
I have not.
I'm really hooked on the Room games by Fire.
And I haven't played those.
Like that.
So there are puzzles you're solving, and the problem is, since you are drafting rooms, you aren't guaranteed to get the rooms you need or the items you need, because items can randomly appear in rooms sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Certain items are set to appear in certain rooms. But so there is escape room elements, but as you are playing, there's also lore all around that can kind of give you answers. So you will find... So, like, in one of the room you find, it tells you how to solve a puzzle in another room. But the problem is, the first time you get either of those rooms, you aren't guaranteed to get the other. For example, the garage, I had what were the car keys. I'm like, oh, I need the garage. I found a room, the coat closet, which you can check an item to use at a later thing. But the problem is, we're
getting awfully close to some spoiler territory for a puzzle game, so we're going to stop. I'm going to put the brakes on this before we spoil this puzzle game for folks.
So there are escape room elements. We'll leave it at that.
Gotcha.
Great.
Gotcha.
So that is Blueprints.
No,
what it's giving me quietly, and it gave my wife, and I agree with it, like Seventh Guest, kind of that kind of vibes.
Yeah.
And that's very cool. Very interesting. I mean, it's on Game Pass. It's on PlayStation Plus Ultra. So this is one of those games that's everywhere. I am sure we will talk about it more as time goes on. Linda, go ahead.
My 3-year-old liked watching me play it this weekend.
That's awesome.
Was commentating on all the rooms we were finding and what we were finding.
I mean, that's awesome.
I did not know she knew what a magnifying glass was, but she told me how I found a magnifying glass. So
that's awesome. All right, Linda, tell us what you got.
I got a happy camper game. I got One Too Many Rabbits to the table. This is a really cute, quick card game where you are rolling dice, and you have 3 dice, but you don't have to roll all 3 of them. You decide at the beginning of your turn how many you're going to roll. Because you have rabbits, you have too many of them. You have to get rid of your rabbits. The kids said it reminded them of Shut the Box, and I agree with them. So what you're trying to do is match the numbers on your dice to the numbers on your rabbits, and when they match, you can take them out of your deck. But you can do, so if I was rolling my dice, I can use one of the die, that number. I can add 2. I can add all 3. I can do any kind of combination with the 3 of them. As we got down to only a few rabbits each, maybe we're only rolling 1 of them or 2. I kept having to roll 3 because, of course, I got stuck with the high number cards. And there's some special cards. We played this for the first time, learning it, everything. I think we were done in 20 minutes or less, but it was a lot of fun and just a like nice, easy, light card game. And this is a good one to sneak in a little bit of computation. There's a card that also lets you do subtraction. So for younger kids that are learning their math facts, this is a really nice one because it keeps the numbers low and you're adding and making combinations. So this might end up on recommendations for games that support math.
Awesome. I mean, we always love adding to that list.
Absolutely.
And, we love, and we love Happy Camper Games. Glad to have that and be able to support them. Good to hear. John, what about you? What have you been playing?
Power Wash Simulator.
Okay.
So going through that, but I think I'm going to switch it up this week. I may finally bite into Final Fantasy 16, which I've owned for a while. Yeah. And then I definitely think I may sit down and just chew through Blueprints this weekend. It seems like one of those that I could do get through in a weekend or so. So
I've heard some people with some incredibly long amounts of playtime on that. So maybe get a guide and play through it.
I think the problem is it's really hard to find a guide because it's procedurally generated.
Yeah. Hey, I was playing Returnal for the longest, and I never got past the second biome. And that is a roguelite bullet hell.
Yeah, that's tough.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
So I'm going to go last. I spent a bunch of time this past weekend. Friday night, I spent pretty much the entire night actually playing South of Midnight. I know Jeff played a little bit of that too. So South of Midnight is a video game. Dun, dun, dun. It is, in fact, a video game. I'm going to bring up the trailer.
You play video games?
I do, in fact, occasionally play video games. Wouldn't you know? Let me go ahead and share my screen because we have it, and so people can see the art style. So basically, South of Midnight is from Compulsion Games, Xbox exclusive. It is on Xbox Game Pass, and it is about this girl. Her name is Hazel, and she lives in the Deep South, specifically Louisiana, etc. And this is a Creole folktale. Essentially, she gets, there's a natural disaster, some stuff happens. I'm not going to spoil anything because this is a very heavy story game. But she finds out that she is a weaver, which is basically lady with cool powers that can weave fate and emotion, etc. You see kind of this white energy kind of flowing all over the place. She gets some neat powers that help her fight monsters, explore, etc. There's an interesting narrative going around about her and her family. She fights these crazy monsters called haints. And what's really interesting about this game is that it is entirely done in stop motion animation. Which is disconcerting in some situations because there's a big catfish that you hang out with, and sometimes his face is a little hitchy, but it looks absolutely stunning in action when you're fighting monsters, when you're platforming. It is stunning to look at. The music is probably the best part of this whole game.
And it's on Spotify.
And it is all on Spotify, so everybody should go give it a listen.
I've already started adding some of the songs to my favorites list.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Settings to turn off the stop motion, because I know I, and Linda were talking about that.
Not during.
Not Linda. Amanda.
I was like, man, I didn't.
This is her game of the year.
I'll take credit. It sounded great.
So there aren't options during the cutscenes, but you can during gameplay.
Okay, that seems.
Yeah, there's a lot of accessibility options in this one. It is relatively short. I'm already about halfway through, and I was playing it in. I did most of my gameplay in one night. I think this is if it sticks the landing that it's building for me right now, and I'm hoping to play it a little bit more over the course of this week. If it sticks the landing, I have a hard time imagining another M-rated game that's going to come along and take my, kind of take the top spot for me. I really, really like this game. The story's cool. It's the gameplay is a little derivative. There is that, but I'm okay with that. It's simple, and that's good for me. So yeah, I really dig it. Jeff, I know you had some things you wanted to say about this.
Yeah, well, first of all, my favorite part about this game is the music. It is amazing music with lyrics, so it's really cool when they start singing behind as you're like platforming and about what's going on currently. My biggest gripe is I don't find the combat very fun.
Okay.
So, but as you said, there's tons of accessibility options. I turned on the accessibility option that lets you skip like just regular battles, not counting the boss battles. And so I'll get to a battle and I'll just skip it. I have turned it into, kind of an exploration adventure game for me, which is great that these games are coming up with these accessibility options.
Yeah, it really is. There's lots of stuff you can do on this to help kind of fine tune your experience and give yourself the ability to play. And I really did. I actually spent a lot of time in the accessibility options to try and see what options were there. Really liked it. This is one, if you have Game Pass, I think that you owe it to yourself to at least give this one a shot, because it is very cool, very pretty. And if you don't have Game Pass, I would encourage you to go watch some long plays on YouTube, even if you're not going to actually play this one, because I think this is worth giving it a watch. It is very cool, and I think it's, some of these fights are like little movies unto themselves. So it's definitely worth looking at. So those are the games that we are playing. We're playing some good stuff recently between Blueprints and South of Midnight. We got a new Happy Camper game. John's cleaning up his back catalog. He's going to play Final Fantasy 16, though, and that is a treat. Final Fantasy 16 is very, very good. So we're going to transition now from games that we have been playing to games that at least 3 of us will be playing relatively soon. When last we met, we were on the eve of the Switch 2 announcement. So the next day, I do want to indicate I did not let my 16-year-old stay home to watch the announcement. I sent him off to school. I thought about it. Then I kicked him right out the door. I said, get out of here. I'm not letting you skip so that you can watch a presentation that you can watch on your phone on the way home.
He didn't want Linda yelling at him for letting his kid skip school.
Linda would not yell at me.
I would have just given him the glare. It's fine. I wouldn't have said
she would have judged me.
Not my place.
The mom
I would have silently judged him, but it is not my place. He is the parent.
She would have judged me. She wouldn't have yelled at me. Linda doesn't yell at anybody. But she definitely would have judged me. With that said, I didn't. So let's talk very briefly. I have a list here of everything that we know about the Nintendo Switch 2. So I think it is probably a good idea for us to kind of fire away. Let's start with some of the basics that we know. We've already talked about some of the information, but release date, it is currently, I say this currently because as we will talk about shortly, this is an ever evolving topic. Right now, it is set to release June 5th of 2025. Right now, as of 8:30 p.m., Tuesday, the 15th of April, we don't have pre-order dates yet. Originally, the pre-orders were supposed to go live April 9th.
We don't have U.S. pre-order dates.
We don't have U.S. pre-order dates.
Canada was announced for next week earlier today.
Yeah. So we, as in the United States, those of us in this call do not have pre-order dates, but that could change any minute. The problem is last Wednesday also happened to be the day that the United States president announced sweeping tariffs across basically the entire universe, including an island that only has penguins on it. So as a result, that threw some of Nintendo's plans right out the window, I am sure, because I'm sure that they were expecting some amount of tariff action. I doubt no one expected this. So as far as release dates and pre-order dates, what I am encouraging everybody to do is keep your eyes on various outlets, because as soon as it is available for pre-order in the United States, all of us will start telling you. We'll put it in our group. You can also follow various people on Blue Sky and Twitter and Facebook, etc. You'll get your news, because everybody that wants one is waiting. Now, other details, and I think this is probably the biggest thing, is they did not give us the price during the actual presentation, but we found out shortly thereafter. The Switch 2 is going to be priced at $400, is as of right now going to be $450 US, which is $150 more than the original Switch at launch, and it is obviously still more expensive than the OLED Switch that is available right now. We do know, and there are articles all over the place, there were people that had a hands-on event. To what we know, it appears to be a little bit more of a premium product. It has a bigger screen, we know. It's an LCD screen. And, it has some relatively impressive technical specifications, kind of on par with a PlayStation 4 Pro, which is not bad for a handheld. Metroid Prime 4 is going to be played at 120 frames per second on that thing, which is quite impressive considering it's a tablet. So that's a whole bunch of details. But the first thing I want to do is I want to talk to Linda, because what do you think of that price, Linda?
I think we're going to do what we do with a lot of consoles. We are not ones that buy at launch. We don't. We may buy it in 6 months. We might buy it in a year. We typically wait at least 6 months to buy new consoles. That's sort of the pattern we have. And some of it's a financial piece. Some of it is we have the current one. We're not there's not the urgency to get the next one.
Sure.
And my youngest is the one that is the primary Switch user. He, not that long ago, maybe in the last year, he picked up a Switch Lite because he's just used our regular Switch to the point it was getting really glitchy. So he got himself, using his birthday money and such, picked up a Switch Lite. So he's got this newer Switch. So I think that might tide him over a little so that we can wait the 6 months to a year, kind of see how everything plays out. I know they're not going to go on sale. Like, we know, like, they don't go on sale typically, but we tend to just be kind of second or third wave of purchasers. And I think we're going to follow that pattern again.
Okay. I mean, that sounds reasonable. And that's kind of right in line with what you said last podcast. So, the price definitely didn't, I mean, obviously I think we all know, it's a lot of money. Does that price push it outside the, is that something where you guys are like, never mind? Like, has it crossed the threshold? Because that's the question that I want to ask regular parents. Because I am not a regular parent, right? So for me, this is, but for like regular parents, like there is some concern that Nintendo has kind of pushed the price beyond the pale, right? Like that, where it's just too much.
I don't think it's too much, but it's one of those, this is a save for, maybe we go in on it together.
Sure. Yeah.
That's something we've done with our kids before. Like, you have to cash in some of your birthday money, your Christmas money, whatever, and share the cost. Or maybe you're the one saving and purchasing it. We have to kind of see who's going to be the primary player too. That'll affect how we're going to be financing this. Or it might be, we'll get it for you for your birthday next year, but you're going to have to contribute X amount towards it because it's outside of our budget. So there's a lot of negotiating that could happen. I don't think it's a hard no, but it's we're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah, this is an impulse buy. Jeff and John, what about you guys? I mean, what was your gut reaction when the price hit the news?
So my gut reaction was it was higher than I expected. Not by much. I was expecting $400.
Same.
So, so it was a little higher than expected. And, I do agree with Linda. It kind of pushes it out of that splurge purchase. Like, you can't just. So the Switch was $300. And I mean, I guess I can say I'm fortunate enough to say a $300 purchase could be considered a splurge purchase. But I think that $450 is pushing it over that threshold where you're not going to get, people who go out to buy one is because like they already plan to go out and buy the Switch.
Yeah. You know what? I agree with that a lot.
Sorry.
No. I go ahead. Go ahead.
And I'm with you. We're not regular parents. I mean, we are in the minority of people who own all three, consoles.
Yeah. It's not just for my kids. This is for me too. So that does change the calculations. But I mean, I think the idea of, it going from like a splurge purchase to a purchase that you have to like really think about, I think obviously that's going to be different for everybody. But like anytime you significantly change the price, that adds it to the calculation for so many people, right? I mean, if you changed it $20, right? Like I know that's arbitrary, but like if they changed it by $20, that's not really going to change it for a lot of people. This is $150 in difference, and that's just a lot to think about. What about you, John? How did you take the news when the price came out?
Exact same point as Jeff said. I thought this might be a $400 console. That's why I don't think even with the tariffs, unless we screw up and start and nail those 20-30% tariffs on where it's coming from. But if it stays at $450, IRA was looking at GameStop's trade-in was like $125 for a regular Switch. We're two Switch household. Like when we were dating in the beginning, Animal Crossing came out, and the two of us stayed up all night catching stars that first night when Animal Crossing launched. So like we are a Switch household. We both have our own. So I wiped one of ours, and I'll sell it to anybody for $130, $5 more than what I would get at GameStop, and I'll deliver it to your house if you're in Connecticut. And I'll use that money, and it's only going to cost me, $320. Actually, no, because I'm of course getting the Mario Kart edition because
that is part. To next talk about it.
We didn't talk about so the Mario Kart edition is $500, which I appreciate packing in the game for another $50, but it's $500, so I have to find a way to get it down to $400. So, trade in that long in the tooth Switch and get a brand new one. And I can't wait to see those load times. My only problem is there's no backwards compatibility on that micro SD card. It's only that express micro SD card when we start talking about that.
So it is. It is a good point. The idea that there is the bundle, and that is for folks that are going to play Mario Kart. I mean, that's one that people should kind of keep their eyes on. Enough about the price. That's kind of the depressing thing. The reality is it's expensive. We're going to have more to talk about with it. The reactions are kind of all over the place. I was on TikTok and shared a bunch of. I was called all sorts of things when I was just like, hey, you know what? Video games are expensive.
Chill.
I was called, man, I wish I was called a shill. That would have been a little bit better. So at the end of the day, unfortunately, they're expensive. And so if it's out of your price range, I mean, I can't blame people for not buying it. Obviously we'll be talking about it and, coming up with giving people some tips and advice on how they can get it affordably. I think, the idea of trading in the old Switch to GameStop or something like that is really a good idea because the Switch is backwards compatible. I mean, so if you only need one and you don't need the hand-me-down, then trading it in is a really good option because you can get you can cut the price down a little bit. So I do think that that's a good idea. I will say that does also mean that if you don't need the Switch and you don't have one, there's going to be a lot of Switches available on the secondary market for people, just like what Tomlinson was talking about. So if you
have a house full of kids and you only got that one Switch sitting there,
you're going to be able to get some used Switches
by Christmas.
Yeah. And that's
something. Marketplace, forget about it. You're going to get like 3 for $1.
I mean, I don't know about that, but I mean, I know that when the PS5 came out, we were talking about the PS4 for quite some time and recommending it for several years because it was such a great deal. The Nintendo Switch, I would expect to be a similar thing. So, it was not all about the hardware itself. They did give us some information about games, and I think that is certainly something that we can talk about. The big flagship was they revealed Mario Kart World, which is the follow-up to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Big differences here, 24 racers per race, and it is an open world design a la Forza Horizon. That is not the direction I expected, but I was really excited about it. Jeff and John and Linda, I mean, you have borne witness to the Mario Kart. I have actually played Mario Kart with you in the past.
I was going to say, I have played Mario.
And
you've absolutely played Mario Kart.
Mario Kart, so.
I am terrible. I need all of the adaptive controls turned on, but I can play Mario Kart.
So what are we thinking about Mario Kart World? I think it looks great. I want to know, let's go quickly around the horn. Tomlinson, what are you feeling?
So I was messaging you during this, like, I don't understand how we didn't see this coming. Like,
because I'm stupid. That's why.
So am I. I didn't say it. Like, I don't know how it didn't dawn on me to make it number one open world and then call it Mario Kart World. Like, it's right there. Like,
it is right there.
It's been there for 30 years. Like, come on. Yeah. Like, since the Super Nintendo, Mario Kart World was a possibility, and it just makes sense as a title. And then just making it, just taking the Forza Horizon where you could bounce in and out of races, drive wherever you want. From what I'm hearing about this game, there's also going to be some like way to kind of do what all these kids are doing now, where you're around in lobbies and chatting with your friends and stuff like that. So you'll be able to drive around with your friends if you're in the same race and just run into buildings, drive around in the wilderness and stuff like that. So it's going to be a bigger game than we're seeing right now. And I can't wait to see all the other stuff because I've watched a bunch of people with their first impressions after playing the game in person at the event over the weekend. So,
Jeff, what about you?
I mean,
what do you think about it?
I love Mario Kart. I am super excited. I love the character rosters. So when they were doing Mario Kart World Tour on mobile devices, I played it for a little bit, but the coolest part about that was all the different costumes you could get for characters. And I'm like, why don't they bring this into a Mario game? Regular Mario Kart. And now they have. They have all these different costumes. So many characters that have not been in a Mario Kart game before. Though there are still a few omissions, but I hopefully feel like they just haven't been announced yet. In other words, where's Diddy Kong and where's my Koopalings?
They're in the DLC.
So
wait, hold on. Before we do that, that was an offhand comment. We'll talk about it later. Linda, did you see the stuff about Mario Kart World? Or now you've heard us talk about it? What are your thoughts?
I think it's going to be fun to play. I mean, this is one of the few games that I feel confident that once we get it, or once we go to your house and you guys have it, I will be playing it as well. And it's something, it's so fun to have more options. The idea of being able to do what they've been doing in other games with the lobby and get your friends together. I think the kids are going to, and adults are going to really like that option. And I think that's going to be a really fun that you don't necessarily have to be all in the same room.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what it
Yeah.
sounds like. Am I interpreting that right? You don't have to be sharing the couch,
Correct.
so to speak.
Yeah, this is going to be a big piece of the online experience. You know what? I guess I completely buried the lead on one of the biggest features of Nintendo Switch. We'll hop back to that in a moment after what I'm talking about Mario Kart World. I do want to say we do have an article about Mario Kart World on EngageFamilyGaming.com. So I would encourage people to go grab that. And we will be updating it after the Mario Kart World Direct, which is coming this Thursday. So if you want to know all of the stuff we know about Mario Kart World, you can kind of hop over to that article, and we will be updating it on Thursday and keeping it updated as more information is added to it later. So John, I made a joke about DLC and you wanted to interrupt. I do want to say one thing that we do know about Mario Kart World is that it's $80.
Yep.
It's $80 digital and physical. There was a kerfuffle where people thought it was going to be $90, and then it was a whole thing. Nintendo's not doing themselves any favors right now with not communicating, but we do now know Mario Kart World is $80, which will make it the most expensive standard edition of a video game released since the Nintendo 64.
Yes.
Video games are expensive. I got a lot of crap on TikTok for talking about that too. Partially because for me, I think we shouldn't be looking at comparing Mario Kart World to current gen games. I think we need to look at Mario Kart compared to GTA 6 and the PS6 games, because I suspect that those will be even more. I wouldn't be shocked if GTA 6 is like $120.
When they announced that, I'm sure Rockstar just went, whoo.
Yeah.
Probably not, because Rockstar gets to come out and they're going to drop it at $120 or whatever.
Yeah, they're going to say 100 at least for the standard edition for GTA. But like, I know you stopped me because you have the same thought in your head. I don't think there's going to be DLC anytime soon. I think at least the first 3 years they're not going to do anything. We're going to get settled.
That's in speculation station. So we're gonna. I mean, what I hope we find out is we'll find that out tomorrow or on Thursday. Because I would love it if it was $80 and maybe they all the DLC is free
for like 1 or 2 years. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great? But
or
so that's Mario.
Pack it in with the online like they're doing with everything.
I mean, else. That's another possibility. There's a lot of different routes that they can go.
So DLC is like additional content for the game.
DLC means downloadable content.
Or, those add-ons for World of Warcraft, like.
Well, those are expansions. Hold on.
Speaking her language.
Expansions
hold on.
are types of DLC.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. Well, that's actually. I don't know why my screen wasn't updating.
It takes.
So I'm going to show that on the screen. This is a very valid question. And just to explicitly, DLC is short for downloadable content. Mm-hmm. This is a Skyrim, or not Skyrim. Elder Scrolls did it forever ago, where you could spend a couple of dollars and buy armor for your horse. And since then, there are all manner of different ways that they do this. Skins in Fortnite, extra levels. All of those are different kinds of downloadable content. So that's DLC. We were speaking in the jargon, and for whatever reason, my Riverside chat did not update, because I would have answered that probably, I guess maybe I'm not that late. But it didn't update. So sorry about that, guy. So that's Mario Kart. And so let's talk. I do want to talk briefly about the Nintendo Switch social features, because this is something that is very out of character for Nintendo historically. Nintendo was really big on, social gaming in person, and online gaming was not a really big priority for them. Whereas the Switch 2, one of the primary features is game chat, which is basically a watered down version of Discord baked into the console. What do we think about that, guys? I mean, I think it's neat. I'm probably never going to use it. I don't use my Switch for that kind of gaming. But what about you guys?
I can't believe they spent as much time as they did on the Direct about this.
8 minutes. Yeah. I feel the same. Like I get what they're going for, and it's good that Nintendo is doing this because like people like Nintendo, people like how Lego partnered with Fortnite to bring that um the cabinet accounts where parents could control more. Those two companies have been very good about locking things down for the kids. So Nintendo going out of their way to build this kind of discord, it just makes sense. Um, you know, I I'm surprised it's the biggest thing about the Switch 2, sort of. Like it's taking all the air out of the room because instead of going for something bigger, crazier, like not needing a dock or having the having you be able to cast to your dock or something like that, like going wireless like the Wii U. Um, I'm surprised that they went full on. We are going to allow you to socialize with your friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
And I
Um,
wonder how much of that speaks to the time
yeah.
and what.
I mean, I think a lot of it.
I think
I mean, that's the thing. I think that's a huge part of it right now.
I think COVID did a lot to emphasize the digital socialization of kids, and I think they're trying to capitalize on that. Like,
Well, I mean, games are a social thing. I mean,
I know, but like
Amanda and Rachel talked about that a lot. You said a lot of digital play spaces are the current playground. The advantage to game chat is that kids can get in and play and chat with each other while playing different games, which is something that they couldn't necessarily do before. They had to be kind of playing the same thing. Whereas now I could be playing Zelda and Linda could be playing the latest Souls-like, and you guys,
Dust Bloods.
Dusk Bloods.
That's her game of the year, Dust Bloods.
That is
a thought that just crossed my mind, though, that I think is genius for Nintendo. So we can be playing different games and still chatting. And my game is down on my screen, and I go, "Oh, Steve, what are you playing?"
Yep.
And then I'd be like, "Mom, look what Steve's playing. I want that game."
Yeah, that's what I want for Christmas.
I mean, it's certainly going to help with discoverability. That is true. Listen, I think here's some good news for the parents listening. Because I did actually.
Then my mom goes, "Jeff, you're 36 years old. You can buy your own game."
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. I wonder what would happen if I asked my mom for it. Anyway, so the good news is because I know there were some concerns. Mega Mom, I don't know if she's in the chat here, but I know Mega Mom voiced some concerns right away about the social features, forced lobbies, etc. This is very clearly not just a friends only thing. You actually need to designate people within your Nintendo friends to be game chat friends, because they brought up the scenario, and I absolutely see it. There are some people that are on my list that are like, "Oh, I played Splatoon with them twice, and they're on my list, and I don't want to game chat with them." And that's probably going to be the case. How many kids tried to friend? Because my son used the Switch for Fortnite. So how many kids tried to friend us on Nintendo because he was playing Fortnite with them? And so you can actually, not only can you like hard code it so that you're like, "No, I'm not letting this random stranger have video chat with my kid." You can actually, there's even a place where you can put notes, because, people don't put their real names in these things. So it's like, Koopa Troopa 9000 is John Tomlinson.
Yeah.
And because, parents have trouble. I have trouble remembering my kids' friends' names regardless, let alone their kids' fake names on Nintendo. So I think Nintendo has thought about this stuff. Obviously there's going to, bads are going to bad. But Jeff, what about you? You've got two very young kids. So you're probably not worrying about this now, but within the lifetime of the Nintendo Switch 2, this is going to come up for you.
Yeah.
What are your feelings?
It's interesting, especially when you talk about my kids, because honestly, Kyrie hasn't shown up. She's more of a social gamer, as she likes to play with the family.
Yep.
Like she has a Switch Lite. It has hardly seen very much play. She'd rather wait until, as a family, we're playing Mario Kart or Mario Party. So I don't know how much it would get used. And of course, Zoe's only 3, so we don't know what she will be into.
I think when Kyrie has that friend at school that wants to play online with her, then it's just gonna take off.
That's what we're gonna have to find out. It'll be a different experience, but I mean,
the interesting thing is, not a lot of kids. Like, yes, they sold a lot of Switches. I mean, it goes back to the price. I don't see a lot of. I'm gonna guarantee you, I will be probably one of the very few people in my town who has a Switch 2 when it launches, or at least try to.
Yeah. Well, another
That's
thing.
the thing. It's over time. You're gonna have the late adopters like us.
Yep.
And as she gets older, it may be one of those things that builds as people like finally save up and they get it. It may be something that wouldn't even come on your radar for a couple of years.
And you know what? It's kind of funny that you say that, because I've had this conversation with Kyrie. You know, as parents, we've all had that you aren't grateful conversation with your kid. And, you know, I've even told her, I go, you know, Kyrie, you are very lucky as you have a dad who is very into this stuff. So you're not going to be waiting till your birthday, till Christmas to get the new games.
Yeah.
I have had that very discussion with my 2 sons a lot, because they begrudge me some of the work that I do, where I'm like, hey, I need you to be quiet during the podcast. And I'm like, hey guys, you know, me doing this means that how many Pokemon games come out in November and you guys still get them day one and didn't have to wait until Christmas? Because that's a Christmas gift for almost everybody. But for them, they get to play it day one. I'm like, just for that, you guys should be giving me a little bit of grace for my once every other week 1-hour podcast. Anyway, we don't need to get into that too far. So the game chat feature, it does have a camera. What's interesting is the Nintendo camera is just a plain old black camera. You know, and it does have a thing that shuts when it is off, which is actually kind of good. Like the actual mechanism.
Corey's making a
I'm about to get there. So it has a mechanism that shuts the webcam when you are not using it. But Hori, which is a famous game equipment manufacturer, I got to go find it because it is so good. They have one that's a Piranha plane.
Well, not only that, most USB-C cameras will be compatible, so you don't even need to purchase one if you have something.
100% true. Yeah, you're 100% true. But look at this thing. Look at this thing, everybody. I'm sharing this right now.
Wondering if an adapter will work.
Look at this thing. And what's even cooler is the mouth shuts when it's off. And it's cheaper.
Oh.
And it's cheaper. A full $10. So, like, who's not going to have this? I'm going to have one of these. I don't have any intention of using
at all.
Like, I'm going to try. I might use this as my actual computer webcam. We'll see what's up. You know what I mean? And what's awesome is when it's off, it shuts. I'm just very excited about that. And this is one of those things, like, you know, it's kind of cool. Anyway, I'll stop sharing. I want one just so that I can say I have it because I have a problem. So let's see. I'm looking at the Switch. Let's talk about some of the other games that are coming to it. You know, we talked about game chat. And let's talk a little bit, and then we are at time. So we'll stop after we go over some of the other ones. So we know Mario Kart World is the big one. It's $80. They also announced in July Donkey Kong Bonanza, not
so excited.
Bonanza. Bonanza is a 3D Donkey Kong game where you can basically just destroy the whole world. It is so rad. Jeff, you're excited about this one, yes?
I'm excited. I mean, other podcasts that it makes me think a lot of Super Mario Odyssey. I mean, anything 3D platforming Nintendo does, I'm all in no matter what. So I'm super excited for this game.
I can't wait to play Knack 3, you know.
Oh, man.
I was
that
making that
he texted
joke
me that
all over the internet.
Yeah, he texted me that. I just ignored him. I was like, I'm not even going to engage.
I'm pretty sure you commented that on Nintendo's page.
And you know what? I didn't even engage with him. I was like, Yeah. So some other games. We got Kirby Air Riders, which is a sequel to Kirby Air Ride. This one's interesting because it's being directed by Masahiro Sakurai, the guy from Smash. That guy does not believe in vacation. My guy, take a break. But I guess we get to play a Kirby racing
work. Recorded 2 years of work and then uploaded it weekly to YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
Like
he's a lot. We got the Dragon Drive, which is wheelchair basketball, which I think that's either going to blow up or not. It looks kind of dull to me, but it also it looks kind of neat. And then the Dusk Bloods, which is Bloodborne 2, but it's not Bloodborne 2. Because that's Linda's game of the year. It's a Souls-like. So those are some of the new game announcements, but we did also find out some more details about how Switch 1 games are going to be improved onto the Switch 2.
We got the welcome tour.
Oh, yeah, I did that on purpose. There is the welcome tour.
Silk Song.
Silk Song.
Yeah,
yeah, okay. So the Nintendo Switch 2 welcome tour is a 1-2 switch for the Switch 2, and it is a premium instruction manual that you can pay $10 for. I left that off on purpose. It's a bunch of tech demos to teach you how to use the new Joy-Cons and stuff. I guess that's kind of neat.
Here's the thing. I'm a nerd, and I am going to enjoy this. I know people are... I do think you shouldn't have to pay anything for it. It should be a pack-in, but... It
should be a pack-in.
Don't call it 1-2 switch. It is nothing like 1-2 switch. It is a better thing than 1-2 switch.
We'll have to discuss that because I'm going to buy it too, but I'm also not a normal person. I'm a content creator. It's different. So we did find out about what's going to happen with old games as they come forward. And so here's how it is going to work. Old Switch games that were released originally on the Nintendo Switch or cross-gen games like Metroid Prime 4, Pokemon Legends, ZA. Games will be getting updates to play on the Switch 2. If all it's doing is making it look prettier, updated frame rates, upgraded graphics, etc., in general, that update will be free. Super Mario Odyssey,
Pokemon
Scarlet and Violet, which that could be a very big difference. Some of those games, those updates will be free. You'll be able to plug the cartridge in and download it. If it includes additional gameplay, then it will have a charge associated with it. And those charges will vary. So, for example, Kirby and the Forgotten Island, is it Forgotten or Forbidden?
Forgotten Land.
Forgotten Land, thank you, is getting its pack is $20. It's a bunch of new graphics, but it actually has a new world. So it's almost like a DLC pack to go along with it. So that one's why it's a little bit more expensive. We do know that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, those are going to be $10. But they're also going to be included in Nintendo Switch Online. So basically, if you already have a Switch library, there are resources where you'll be able to find out how much you have to pay for your upgrade to the Switch 2. But you can so that's something that we will have to kind of see as we go, and we'll have to kind of investigate. I mean, they showed it on the Treehouse. Man, does Breath of the Wild look great on the Switch 2? And the good thing is, if you have Nintendo Switch Online, it will be at no cost. So we are past time. Linda needs to go to bed because she's an adult. The rest of us are not.
True.
So here we go. We got the chicken jockey. So guys, we did it. We didn't cover everything. Oh my gosh, it's Jason Momoa as a minifig. We didn't get through everything. There's going to be more to talk about, I'm sure. In the next 2 weeks, we will have more. But I promised Linda we're going to talk. I'm not going to skip her playlist 3 weeks in a row. So everybody, I hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed recording. We will be back in 2 weeks with more information, probably, hopefully good news about the Switch 2. But until next time, don't forget to get your family game on. We'll see y'all soon. Bye now.